Hi, good morning. My name is Courtney Vandiver. So today we're going to talk about my research question and what I did my analysis paper over. So internal communication factors to improve organizational culture. So what I've kind of researched shows how big of an impact the communication practices an organization has make into the organizational culture. Okay. So what is the organizational culture? So many things go into this, whether or not they are innovative, whether or not they're focused on their customer, what type of like history and traditions they have, whether that's in their processes or with their clients and customers, and if they've made a big impact, whether or not they are results driven. And then all of this is just really important in shaping the culture, which is all done through the communication dynamics. So whether that's between administration and employee, supervisor, peer-to-peer, employee to customer, all of that kind of is impacted through and shapes the organizational culture through these communication methods. Okay, so the internal communication is a huge part of, public relations and management. And basically how you communicate is going to tell your employees, you know, multiple things, but it kind of shapes the way that they are engaged, their job satisfaction, how they perform. If you create a climate that allows for employees to have feedback to each other, to their management, to their administration, then it allows a better climate. That way that there can be more support and employees can be more productive and positive outcomes can happen. It's kind of been proven that the communication piece, internal communication needs improvement in most organizations, that there's always ways for it to get better. And then a piece of that is the psychological contract. So that's basically, when I accept the job, this is kind of what I'm committing to, and if there's any kind of a discrepancy between that, then the employee kind of feels, that they are, there's a promise been broken to them. So that, even in the beginning can kind of create feelings of resentment and things like that. So it's really important that everybody is transparent and open and the expectations are clear, because that all goes into how the employee sees their organization, which creates the organizational culture. Okay. So the practices of the organization, the communication practices of the organization infect employee engagement, the employee motivation, their productivity, their level of job satisfaction, which creates the whole organizational climate. So not only is employee satisfaction and productivity in everyone's best interest, it makes everyone happier. The employees can be more well informed, and then it enhances the reputation and credibility of the organization. So benefits for all. Okay, so employee advocacy, that is another key point. That's the test of how an employee really feels about the employer. If there are conversations being had about facilitating, using the insights to make changes, and take these strategies to make improvement, then that really sets well with the employee, to enhance the reputation and engagement of that employee. So listening to your employees and hearing that feedback is so important. That employee feedback can be so valuable. And so I really wish organizations would take that feedback to make changes, because that creates the employees being happier, and you feel that they're listening to you, and it gives them a sense of value and that they can are empowered to make changes, and that they're doing good things for the organization. Okay, so what kind of implications does this have? Um, Effective communication, the key points for that, transparency, setting those clear expectations, and then that respect, empathy, and collaboration. That aspect and identity for an organization is so important. And that all comes from those open lines of communication. Engaged employees have numerous benefits to the organization: increased productivity, longer retention, happier, more satisfied customers, and then a better organizational culture. So investing in employees engagement has tons of benefits for that productivity, retention, and then effectiveness. Okay, so it has been proven that internal communication plays an immense part in organizational culture. So enhancing those internal communication um, strategies can create a huge opportunity for organizational goal growth. And then how closely that leads to employee commitment, satisfaction, performance, and then that streamlined way for employees to communicate with their supervisor, their administration, their management, any of their leadership team. Those symmetrical communications are so very important in creating a positive organizational culture.